Welcome back everyone. We got 3 new SSR dolls arriving with the new update and we are gonna talk about Springfield in this video. She has been the most anticipated banner since Klukai and we are finally getting her around the half anniversary point in the global version. She was the anniversary banner in the CN version, so she must be good, right? I think everybody already knows how good she is, but we are getting her early and we will look into her importance and role in your team and how many dupes and weapons are optimal for pulling for your account, etc. We are going to cover her kit, team synergy and build to learn more and determine if it's worth investing in her. Spoiler alert, the answer is yes. But without further ado, let's jump into it. Springfield is a Hydro support character. We have already had Suomi till now as the tier 0 support unit in our version, but from every discussion and tier list in CN, it's pretty universally agreed that Springfield dethrones her to be the best support doll of this game. Doesn't mean Suomi becomes obsolete though. She still remains pretty competitive and top tier, especially because you do need multiple teams in endgame. But Springfield is the new Apex tier 0 support unit of this game with her release. Why is that, you ask? Where do I even start? She is an HP buffer, a high frequency healer, her Bard is a counter attacker, she is a hydro damage buffer, a debuff cleanser and so much more. She single-handedly revives the hydro comp. Tololo without her hasn't really been very popular till now and Hydro in general doesn't see much usage in the endgame content. But she changes that, and by that I mean she is the Hydro comp. She literally shoots Tololo up from a mid-tier DPS unit to a tier 01. You only need a V2 plus Tololo, which is free to get from the standard banner for everyone, and a V1 Springfield. There it is, you have the Hydro comp. The two most accessible F2P friendly endgame team comps, Barn with QJ plus Vector and Hydro with Springfield plus Tololo, are now both available to you and you are pretty much set for any type of endgame content for a long time. If you have noticed already, I mentioned you need a V1 Springfield. Yes. While V0 Springfield is already the top tier support unit and is a quote unquote must pull for everyone, you really should be targeting V1. If you want to use her with Tololo and want to make your Tololo tier 0, you need Springfield V1. If you are F2P and want to maximize the limited resource value you have, Springfield V1 is probably one of the best investments for your account, given you also get V2 Tololo, which you should have or should be getting anyway since that's free and you can target her from the standard banner. It makes your Tololo go 3 times back to back in one turn and a huge damage boost. We'll talk more about that later. Just know that the recommended dupes is V1 for Springfield. You do not need any more. Honestly, if you want to go for more dupes, you should just go to V6. C will probably be the main DPS by then as C becomes comparable to Klukai in damage output at that point, lol. Weapon wise, again, once you get her V1, the next highly recommended pull is her signature weapon. I personally would be getting it and you are recommended to as well if you have the resources. Since we don't really have a very good F2P alternative that suits her that well. But remember, V1 is more priority over her weapon always. So that's pretty much the TLDR for her and the gist of her pull value. Let's go over her skills now to figure out her full kit. Her skill 1 puts 2 debuffs on an enemy. One to increase their stability damage taken and the other to reduce or block their healing. She does single target hydro damage with this one and recovers 1 energy. This is a filler skill for whenever she has some downtime between her ultimate and skill 2, but still very useful for stability damage buff for your teammates, and if the enemy is already stability broken, it will buff teammates hydro damage as well. Her skill 2 is Tololo's favorite skill. Springfield targets an ally, say Tololo, and heals their HP and stability and then puts a hydro buff on them. What does it do? Every time the ally takes an action basically, or attack or take damage, the buff heals them. The neat part is if the ally is full HP, the overhealing turns into stackable hydro damage buff up to 35%. This is sweet for Tololo. And at V1, this will be even better. That's when it will enable Tololo to take 3 actions in one turn with help of this skill. We'll see how when we discuss our Vertebrae. Her ultimate is a jam-packed skill. It combines both of her skill 1 and skill 2 and more. Let's see. It summons Terry's, her pet Bard, Hawk, whatever that is. Terry's follows an enemy and puts the same 2 debuffs from skill 1 onto them and around them in a 3-tile AoE for 2 turns and also does AoE hydro damage. The ult itself heals the ally's HP and stability, cleanses any taunt or fear and 1 more debuff. That's neat. Then it puts the same skill 2 buff on all allies for 2 turns. It also puts another buff at the same time on all allies. What does it do? It increases their HP. not heals, increases their HP to 200%. So basically everyone has double HP. You are not dying, bruh. This is all for 2 turns, so when it expires, maybe you took more than 100% damage in between, it does also heal you before expiring. And lastly, when the enemy Teres is following dies, Teres automatically follows the next highest HP enemy. The ult also gives Springfield 2 energy, by the way. Moving on to her passive, Springfield's skills don't cost energy, but whenever she has max energy after attacking, it reduces her energy to 0 and gives her an extra action. At the start of her action, if she has more than 80% max HP, her ult range is +1. Oh, Teres has passive as well. If the enemy Teres is following attacks an ally, Teres counterattacks the enemy doing hydro damage, 1 stability damage and healing the attacked ally. It can happen twice a turn. If Teres is on field after Springfield's action, it heals her HP at the end. Wow, there goes her kit, and now on to her Vertebrae levels. Primarily we will discuss V1 as that's all you need. So what does it do? It upgrades your skill 2 to buff the healed amount. It buffs the buff that skill 2 provides. Now the overhealing can stack up to 70% hydro damage boost for Tololo. Huge. But it adds another hydro buff. It gives the ally 6 stacks of a new buff that gives them 1 energy back for each stack if the ally does hydro damage with their active attack. This, coupled with V2 Tololo with her expansion key equipped, which we are getting with this update as well, enables all of her skills to do hydro damage and allows Tololo to do 3 attacks in 1 turn. Tololo could already do 2 attacks in a turn. Now when she uses skill 2, it fully recovers her energy and gives her another extra action, allowing her to do 3 attacks, and she can dump all of her skills at the same time. This is a massive boost to Tololo's DPS output, especially coupled with the hydro damage boost already on her. That is why V1 is pretty much a must if you are after the hydro comp. Beyond V1, it's pretty much suggested to target for V6, where Teres evolves into Giga Teres and starts doing Klukai levels of damage, and by that point, Springfield is probably your main DPS plus support in one combo. So if you are saving for her, just go for V6. If you wanna stop somewhere midway, although I wouldn't recommend going half in, you could technically go for just V3, which would boost her damage output somewhat significantly, especially because it gives Teres 2 support attacks alongside the 2 counter attacks from beforehand. It does boost every other damage and heals as well, so if you can take full advantage of that, it could be worth to go for just V3. That's up to you. Moving on to her weapon choices, her signature weapon Radiance is extremely good on her, because we don't really have any other close F2P alternatives. That's why it's a highly recommended pull right after her V1. This is the only sniper that provides ally buffs to their hydro damage, which again helps your Tololo or any other hydro DPS in future. Both the Battle Pass sniper and the F2P SSR Samosek are similar on her, as they give her own damage output a slight boost, which is not really what you want unless you are going for V3 or V6, but then why aren't you pulling for the signature anyway if you are going for more dupes? So there's that. And the F2P SR alternative is M1891, but why? That's just injustice to her. Get her the signature she deserves. Okay, on to her build. The weapon attachment set choice here is the Hydro Boost set, or if you already have a nice Phase Strike set, that's also good. The substat priority is attack percentage, then flat attack, then HP percentage, followed by flat HP. You wanna target around 2500 attack, 5.8k HP and about 750 plus defense for an endgame full build. Her best in slot fixed keys are Behind Her Smile, which puts Hydro weakness onto enemy, Gentle Ministrations to improve healing stability broken allies, and Airborne Link to buff ally defenses with Teres on field. As for the common keys, besides her own, she can use Kofni, Cheetah or Peri's common keys to her advantage. Her skill rotations are slightly different for different breakpoints in her development. If it's a V0 Springfield, the rotation could look like this. Remember to always target your Hydro DPS, probably Tololo, with her skill 2 in every rotation. At V1, this would be the optimal rotation, maximizing Tololo's DPS. And from V3 onwards, the rotation could look like this to take advantage of her increased personal damage output. As for her team synergy, although she can be your solo sustain support in any team, she is paired better with Hydro units in Hydro comp. Right now, that would mean Tololo is her best friend. Springfield plus Tololo is honestly enough. From what we have seen from the CN meta, the full team comp usually includes the Corrosion trio along with this Hydro duo, and that has been the top meta comp for the longest time. If you are interested in a full Hydro comp, we have Sabrina and Zhao available now, and the 5th slot can be either QJ or Klukai. And in future, when we get Nikita as the Hydro Hyper DPS, she can be added alongside Springfield and Tololo for the Hydro Trio, or replace Tololo in the Hydro Corrosion comp. Okay, we are almost done, and it brings us to the final recommendation. In my opinion, F2P or not, Springfield adds immense value to your account overall, and that's why she is a must pull at P0 for everyone. Just to have her, the access to her really is valuable. If you actually want to build endgame comps in a shortcut way, get her V1. That becomes must pull as well, so that you can pair her with Tololo V2 to get the Hydro comp going full force. You can stop there, but the next very high recommended pull is her signature weapon, since the team-wide Hydro buff from the weapon will always be useful as you add more Hydro units later on. That's honestly it. You really don't need more from her to make her one of the best endgame viable unit, but if you want to main her and make her possibly the strongest unit of the game, just V6 her. She becomes the hyper DPS support hybrid demon at that point. So there you go. That concludes our review of Springfield. Let me know in the comments how many dupes you are going for. Be sure to check out my Peri and Faye review videos as well, as they will be dropping soon. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. And if you want to directly show your support, you have the option to join the channel membership or send a super thanks. Those will always be super appreciated. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more Girls Frontline 2 content, and I'll catch you then. Goodbye.